Good morning, Renaissance Unity. Dr. King said faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. So we began this morning, this membership Sunday, and you've heard from everyone. Ruth, prayer chaplain Ruth Starworth opened us up, reminding us who we are and the importance of membership. And we listened to the music that ministered to our hearts about our purpose and why we are here. And it must be something about this community, because in the midst of sub-zero weather, stuck garages, keys that don't work, tires that are flattened, we made it. And we are here. And we don't come out of obligation, but out of dedication and a commitment to this community. My time with you is short, so I am going to just get right to the point. May I get right to the point? All right. Let me just say this: 67 years around the sun. That's me. And my mantra and my song that I played is, I'm still here. I'm available. I made it. And so 25 years with this spiritual community is no other place but home. So I'm just going to just share a little bit with you, and I won't go through all of the slides. I'll do that another day, but just to briefly help you understand whose you are and what you are connected to. The membership, not the Sam's Club, not the Costco's, not the CVS or the Rite Aid, the AARP, or any of those membership, but the membership of a spiritual community. And it's not just here in the state of Michigan, it's around the world. We are connected to a place, a little landmass in Lee Summit, Unity Village. And it all started from a vision of two people who put together, who thought, who knew and heard this calling that there was so much more for them to do, so much more for them to understand. And so they had the wherewithal to join together with a group of like-minded individuals, kindred spirits, who said, we're going to get together and create this new thought, this community, this unity. And what we are going to create is going to be something that people can embrace and move them through, help them to navigate life. So they created unity. Charles and Myrtle had the wherewithal and the thought to capture everything that they had learned. They put it in books. So they knew one day that we would need to access those books to help us remember who we are. So here we are, over 100 years later, having and being the benefactors of their vision, their call, and listening to what Spirit has placed in them. Charles and Myrtle, our talk, a power of collective consciousness. That is what Dr. King emulated for us. And I won't go through the story. You already know. You know. But you are here because of the power of collective consciousness in this space. So we're here on Membership Sunday. And if Donnie, if you will go on to slide 1, won't dwell on it, but take a picture. Take a picture of that. Tells us who we are, what we are, and what we are to do. And it's based on 5 principles. Take a picture of that. That is our reminder of what we are, what we believe, what we embrace. And so this morning I stand in front of you with royal blue on because it is the power of the month. The power of the month, represented by Peter. Peter's faith. Peter is also known as the rock. And there is a scripture that says, on this rock, I will build my what? Church. Now, are we talking about a building? No. Who are we talking about? What are we talking about? Spirit of God, we're talking about ourselves. On this rock, on this faith, I will build my church. On this foundation of faith, I will build my church. That is you. Now, we are the benefactors of a 63-year group, a 63-year-old vision. 63 years ago, I did a little research. There was a group of people who met. And this group of people were the beginning of the church of today, Renaissance Unity. And they met in the unity of Grosse Pointe. They went on to change the name to the Unity Center of Truth. Then they changed their name to the Unity of Infinite Presence. And Jack Boland came along to support this growth, this group. And he named it Unity Church of Today. And we finally settled on, in 2002, Renaissance Unity. This is the spiritual foundation of people who walked in faith. I wanted you to know where and how and who got you started. And then you leaned into spirit, and spirit called you to this place. This place, it's not the building. It's who? It's us. We're the church. And on that foundation of faith, we build the truth of who we are. So we come here on Sunday, we tune in to be present. We gather to forge our collective consciousness and energy, and we bring to this space maybe what we need or someone else needs, but we're present here. We come here to plug in into that spiritual portal. We come to get this Sunday experience to remind us of our truth, seeking love, seeking support, being in the flow of what is occurring when we forge our collective energies. Reverend Glenn walks us through the truth. He reminds us of who we are. I give you some lessons to gird up that foundation, to give you your understanding of the why. Why'd you come out in all this cold weather? Why? You're called to this space. We come to this sacred space because this is our rock. This is where we are lifted, and it is our refuge when life challenges come and the storms come. Eric Butterworth, Unity teacher, says our consciousness is the gateway through which God expresses in and as our lives. And it is important for us to understand our consciousness is what we need, the spiritual substance for our growth. It is that Christ consciousness that lifts us above the battles and the enemy where we sometimes allow fear and challenges to move into our spirit and our soul, and we forget. But when we come here, it shifts for us, and we know that somewhere in wherever we are in this universe, there is someone who is thinking of us. And it's such a comfort to know that our prayers are being answered. Our prayers that are out in the universe are what will sustain us and move us through life challenges. So we're here this morning on Membership Sunday to be part of the kingdom experience. Are you ready? Are you ready? We're not going to be spectators like at the Lions game today, but we are going to be participators in this kingdom experience. Isaiah 6:8 says, "Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, 'Whom shall I send? Who will go for us?' And I said, 'I'm here. I hear you. Send me. I will go.'" I believe that we came here on a mission. We existed as spirits before time. We incarnated to this plane to be what this time needs and to do what God has called us to do, whether it's playing on the keyboard, ministering to our hearts, getting up at 6:30 in the morning and setting up so that we can have that spiritual experience, whether it's 24/7 prayer at 3 in the morning, whether it's being the vice president of student affairs, whether it's our tech person, whether it is the CEO of an organization that helps to prepare children. Everything I've mentioned to you are these people who are in this community that makes what we do possible, and we are called. So in that verse, it says, "Who shall I send?" And each one of them raised their hand and said, "I'll go. Send me." Myrtle and Charles, let that sit with you for a moment. What have you been called to do? Teacher, firefighter, attorney, attorneys, medical professionals. What have you been called to do? And know that it is your sacred covenant. You said, "I'll go. Send me." Renaissance Unity is the place for you to get that spiritual charge, that foundation. It is a reminder. It is your rock. It's that place that you go to, come to, consciously or physically or by way of the internet. It's that rock. You said, "I'll go. Send me." So this morning, we're going to extend what we've started in December. And in December, we said that we're going to exodus and begin a new life. And in January, we started with the rock. And we wrote our new name. And so today we are going to become part of a spiritual community. Either we are renewing or stepping into this membership. Are you ready to go with me? All right. So I'm going to ask that I be granted 5 more minutes just so that we can get this sacred ceremony, just to feel it. And I don't know about you, but I've been on a high. And this rock got me started. My mastermind journal keeps me grounded. And so membership in this space, because it's a renewal time for me, is what we are going to do right here and right now. And as Reverend Brett mentioned, he said that we are going to have this process, this way of you making the commitment to this spiritual community for the next few weeks. So I'm going to ask you now to join me as we make this commitment to this community. And you know, I said Isaiah 6:8, and it says, then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send? Who will go for us? We're going to go on to the slides, because I need you all to participate. We'll move beyond that. That's Myrtle and Charles. And so this is our call and response. I will start, and then you will follow with reading wherever it says, are you? And when you are done, I want you to do a couple of things for me. You should have received this membership information. I want you to do something. Turn on the back and write, after we've gone through this, what is it, after we've gone through our ceremony, what is it, how will you support this community as a member? Volunteering, maybe as a prayer chaplain, as an usher, working in children's ministry. And I want you to take a picture, because we need this. And we'll have your commitment to here. So let's get started. Take a breath with me. And just breathe out. And Myrtle and Charles had a covenant. And they said, as husband and wife, we hereby dedicate ourselves, our time, and our money, and all we have, and all we expect to have, to the Spirit of truth, and through it to the Society of Silent Unity. It being understood and agreed that the Spirit of truth shall render unto us an equivalent for this dedication, in peace of mind, healthy, and health of body, wisdom, understanding, love, and an abundant supply of all things necessary to meet every want without making any of these objects of our existence. And they signed it in the presence of the conscious mind of Jesus the Christ on the 7th day of December, in 1892. That is our beginning. That's why we gather and share membership on our collective consciousness. So here we go. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, will you all stand for me, please? Because this is our commitment. This is what we are agreeing to do on this 14th day of January as we continue our spiritual journey. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Are you? As we unite, one in the Spirit, let us be reminded of our commission to spur one another towards love and good deed. Love one another as God has loved you. Membership in Renaissance Unity is a commitment to contribute in 3 significant ways: your time, your talent, and your treasures. These contributions will help us collectively create a space where spiritual growth and love thrive. Are you? Now we will say the last part together. I commit to practical Christianity and new thought principles, metaphysical, and guided by the teachings of the Unity Worldwide Ministries, Myrtle and Charles Filmer, and other New Thought leaders. I pledge to embody love, compassion, and unity in my thoughts, words, and actions. With gratitude for the divine presence within and around me, I offer my energy and talents to the betterment of our spiritual family and the world. As a member of this community, I co-create a life of purpose, joy, and spiritual. And so it is. Amen. You may be seated. May this membership promise and oath be a beacon of inspiration as we walk the path of practical Christianity together, united in the spirit of love, wisdom, and divine harmony. We are called to this space to be what the world needs. You signed up for it. You said I would go. So as we prepare our information, if you have a pencil, at some point fill it out for me or for us. As we remember on this 14th day of January 2024, our commitment to this spiritual community. We are the church, and we've been called here for reasons. We've been called here to do what we agreed to do. This is our sacred contract. What will you do to support this community with your time, your talent, your treasure? How will you support it? We're here and grateful for you. And I am so proud and honored to be part of this progressive community as we grow together and do what we have been called to do.